is engaging various stakeholders on the delimitation process that is supposed to undertake. And so most of these members of parliament were attending to these very equally important meetings. So for now, we cross over to that committee. Thank you so much for your time.
Our interaction cannot be used against you in any courts of law or indeed outside Parliament. This is to the effect that you do not deliberately mislead the committee. Should you choose to deliberately mislead the committee, the same Cap 12 can be used against you. However, the committee is comforted by the fact that you wouldn't deliberately want to choose the latter. Hence, we ask you to interact with us freely when called upon to do so. So we now start introductions. You will introduce yourself, CS, and allow your members to equally introduce themselves. Introduction.
Good morning, members. Good morning, Chairperson. My name is Kelvin Banda, and we thank the committee for according us this opportunity to appear before it. I'm Council Secretary for PETAUKE Town Council. Thank you, Chair.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, honorable members. My name is Emmanuel Mungera. I'm Director Finance for PETAUKE Town Council.
DF, kindly switch off the mic. So when you introduce yourself, you switch off. When you're done, so the next person can equally use the gadget. Go ahead, sir.
My name is Lamek Chiro, Accountant, PETAUKE Town Council.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, honorable members. My name is Ernest Matibini, Internal Auditor.
Good morning, Chair. My name is Arnold Mwanavunga, Director Engineering.
Morning, Chair. Morning, House. Sibeso Muimui Hambote, Director Planning.
Morning, Chair. Morning, members of Parliament present. My name's Enoch Kenneth Nguruwe, Director Human Resource Administration, PETAUKE.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, honorable members. I'm Chiwech Pampe, Council Advocate.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, House. My name is Helen Nyangu, Dr. Helen Nyangu, Director Health Services, PETAUKE Town Council.
Good morning, Chair. My name is Christopher Chwila. I'm the Senior Procurement Officer, PETAUKE Town Council.
Thank you so much. We'll begin with, we'll go to our permanent witnesses. We can start from that row.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, members of Parliament, honorable members of Parliament. Good morning, Council Secretary and team. My name is Brenda Mdenda from Ministry of Finance, Accountant General.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, members of the committee. Good morning, CS and the team. My name is Mulumbenji Kasanka from Local Government Service Commission under the Department of Human Resource Management Services. Thank you.
Chairperson and the honorable members of your committee, good morning. PETAUKE Town Council, you're welcome. I'm Kazinga Kennedy, permanent witness from Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Office of the Auditor General.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, Chair. Good morning, honorable members of the committee. CS and your team, good morning. I'm Collins Samunderu from Chipata Audit Office. I'm accompanied by two of my colleagues who introduce themselves.
Thank you.
Good morning, Chairperson. Good morning, honorable members of the committee. Good morning, PETAUKE Town Council. Good morning, permanent witnesses. My name is Jonas Msonda, Principal Auditor, Eastern Province.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, everyone. My name is Simon Munyama from the Planning and Research Department, Office of the Auditor General.
Thank you so much, Secretariat.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, honorable members. My name is Andrew Swale from the Office of the Clerk.
Chair, good morning to you and other honorable members, Mr. Banda and your team. Good morning and you're welcome. I am Shirimboy Elijah from the Office of the Clerk of National Assembly. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much. IT, could you admit, I can see that Samsung, that could be Honorable Kampamba. She's using a new set. Her phone was stolen on Saturday. CS, we have some honorable members who are joining us virtually due to the national delimitation hearings going on around the country. And so I want to recognize and call on Honorable Member of Parliament for Mitete. You can introduce yourself.
Chair, I'm totally grateful and PETAUKE with the feeling. I thank God for life. Mutero Mishek is my name, MP, Mitete constituency.
Thank you so much, Honorable. The Honorable Member from Mufumbwe. Okay. If the Honorable Member from Mufumbwe is not ready, we can go to...
Good morning, Honorable Chairperson.
Yes, loud and clear. Please proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson, and good morning, our permanent witnesses and our Secretariat. Good morning to PETAUKE Town Council. You are welcome to your committee. My name is Elliot Kamondo. I'm Member of Parliament from Fumbwe. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Honorable Kampamba, is that you? The MP for Kalulushi. All right, we make progress. Honorable Member for Honorable Dr. Manza Kaumbwe.
Thank you, Chair, and good morning, PETAUKE Town Council. You are most welcome to the Committee on Local Government Accounts. Chair, this is my council, and I just wish to advise that be calm and enjoy the deliberations. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The Honorable Member for Mangango.
Chair, good morning to you. Morning, our Secretariat. Morning, our permanent witnesses. All our colleagues in the diaspora, good morning to you too. PETAUKE, good morning to you all. You are most welcome to National Assembly. Sorry, you are also my council, but I'm not domiciled in PETAUKE. You are welcome before your committee. Very, very good committee. Thank you. I'm Mwenel Hamba, Member of Parliament for Mangango from Western Province, Kaoma District. That's where you find Mangango constituents. I've said this also my council chair because the same council officers, you end up finding them also in Kaoma. So it's equally my council. So they will be in Lusaka. Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable. CS and your team, my name is Christopher Shakafuswa. I represent the good people of Mandevu, and you are in Mandevu constituency, so you are welcome to Mandevu constituency. I'm the vice chairperson of the committee and privileged to chair the session this morning. Your director, Health Services in PETAUKE was our captain at school, and Dr. Helen Nyango. She is my elder sister. Yeah. I now call upon you, CS, to present your memorandum.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Chairperson. Chairperson, before I submit my report, allow me just to make one correction and to ask through your chairship that we submit some evidence to do with Kaumbwe soft loans, which were not ready at the time we submitted the memorandum, and we have come with the copies with our council advocate. Chair, the correction...
You can go ahead. For the extra copies, I hope you have brought, you know the standard.
Yes.
And if there's any other extra copies that you have, this is the time to declare them so that we admit them as part of the report. We are live on Parliament TV, just take note. But be calm, like your MP has said. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. The correction is under Appendix A, Part 6, on the completion certificate.
Go ahead.
The correction should read, where it's written Manyane ward, it should read Nyika ward. Okay. And on the date, just by the bottom before the signature, it should read 7th February 2026.
7th February
2026.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Chair.
Proceed.
Okay. Chair, we have two queries under specific issues.
Just a moment. Secretariat, the folder for Honorable Mwene only has the page for, what about where it says 1? Yes, I saw 1, and then you open their documents. Were there? Okay, thank you. Proceed, please.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. We have two specific issues which were cited for, and the others are cross-cutting issues. I'll go to the management response. Chair, this is delayed completion of a 1x2 classroom block at Kablonga Primary School. Chair, the cause of the query, management acknowledges the observation of the auditor and wishes to submit that failure to complete the project within the stipulated time was as a result of delayed funding as well as failure by the contractor to adhere to instructions from the project manager. Chair, the action taken, management engaged the contractor and applied for funding from the ministry. Upon non-adherence by the contractor, the contract was terminated by the procurement committee and the contract was awarded to a new contractor. The works have since been completed, Chair. Management will adhere to CDF projects completed within the contract period. Okay. Under Kaumbwe constituency, Chair, construction of a health post, staff house, water reticulation, ablution, and incinerator at Chikumba. Chair, the cause of the query, management acknowledges the observation of the auditor and wishes to submit that failure to complete works was due to inability of the contractor to successfully drill a borehole at the site. The contractor drilled 2 dry boreholes, and as such, this being the only remaining works at the site, had not been done at the time of audit. Management, the action taken, Chair, management pump tested the existing community borehole situated about 150 meters away to establish whether the yield could meet the needs of the health post and engage the village headman to obtain authority to use the existing community borehole. Upon obtaining the approval, management instructed the contractor to do water reticulation and supply water to the health post. Chair, on the remedial measure, management will ensure that CDF projects are completed within the contract period. The evidence of this is at Appendix B, Chair. Chair, on the cross-cutting issues, budget and funding, management response on the cause of the query, management acknowledges the observation of the auditor and wishes to submit that the full allocation of the 2024 CDF was not dispersed to the local authority, and management was still awaiting the balance of 16 million and 69,098 kwacha for PETAUKE constituency, while no funding was received for Kaumbwe constituency except for the retained funds. Funds were retained for the procurement of ambulances and motorbikes. Chair, on the action taken, management wrote letters to the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development requesting for funds for the financial year 2024. Remedial measure, management will continue to engage the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development on funding for CDF projects. Chair, on retained funds under Appendix 1.1, cause of query, management acknowledges the observation of the auditor and wishes to submit that the amount of 2,725,000 were retained by the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development for the purpose of centrally procuring ambulances for each constituency and the motorbikes for the chief's retainers. Chair, management has received the ambulances for the ambulance for Kaumbwe constituency, while that for PETAUKE Central is being awaited. Motorbikes were also received by the district. Chair, management will continue to engage the Ministry on projects being procured centrally under CDF. Chair, unspent funds under community projects, management acknowledges the observation of the auditor and wishes to submit that the unspent funds as at the time of audit, were committed towards ongoing community projects in relation to delivery of desks. Action taken, management wishes to submit that a reconciliation on the amount spent on desks under Kaumbwe was done and is shown in the table, Chair. So we have tabulated after we did the reconciliation. The unspent funds have since been spent, and we have shown how they have been spent. Under PETAUKE constituency, the unspent funds under PETAUKE Central were spent on desks and provided a larger portion towards advance payment for the contractor for extension of police cells, a joint project undertaken by the two constituencies as shown below. Chair, we have shown that under the table. Remedial measure, management to ensure that funds are spent in the year they are allocated. Chair, total unspent funds under procurement, under empowerment grant, management, on the cause of the query, management wishes to acknowledge the observation of the auditor and wishes to submit that the delay in processing the payment was as a result of beneficiaries not availing bank accounts to the local authority. Chair also did a reconciliation on the empowerment grants for Kaumbwe constituency and is shown on the table below. The combined empowerment grants component of 2023 and 2024 were dispersed to beneficiaries in 2024. As such, the total sum for the allocation for the 2 years was 4,480,165.34. Out of this amount, 4,389,611.55 was paid out, representing 98.2%, and the balance of 90,553.79, representing 1.8, was paid in 2025. Chair, as a remedial measure, will ensure that all empowerment grants are dispersed. Chair, on the secondary boarding and skills, the unspent funds, there were no unspent funds under this category. So we are saying that management acknowledges the observation of the auditor and wishes to submit that all available funds were spent on secondary boarding and skills development. We will also continue to conduct due diligence to make payments under secondary boarding and skills development, Chair. Chair, spent funds on the loans. Cause of query, management acknowledges the observation of the auditor and wishes to submit that the bulk of the unspent funds under PETAUKE Central were monies from loan recoveries, which the CDFC had not yet allocated to new beneficiaries, and the balance from 2023 for clubs that failed to submit bank accounts. For Kaumbwe, some beneficiaries took long to provide quotations for equipment they were procuring, as they were to be procured in the name of the council as guided by ministry through the 2024 CDF implementation circular. Chair, the other funds were also from loan recoveries and interests which the committee had not yet allocated at the time of audit. The action taken, management wishes to submit that the unspent funds were reported to the respective CDFC, who reallocated the funds for groups that failed to submit bank accounts, and interest earned was used to pay other applicants as shown in the appendices. Chair, management will endeavor to report on time all unspent funds to the committee for reallocation. Chair, on the administrative cost, cause of query, management acknowledges the observation of the auditor and wishes to submit that the over-expenditure on the administrative component under Kaombwe emanated from bank charges. Chair, the administrative fund were used to monitor 2024 projects. The remedial measure, management will continue to adhere to CDF guidelines on the utilization of the administrative component of the fund. Chair, on community projects, the analysis, projects under work in progress under PETAUKE Central, completion of Mtumbata dormitory at completion of girls dormitory at Mtumbata Secondary School. Chair, the contract was affected by the inability of management to honor IPCs due to non-receipt of funding from the ministry. Management encouraged the contractor to source funds, and the works have since been done. Construction of a health post at Mungomba with toilets. The contract was affected by the inability of management to honor the IPCs due to non-receipt of funding from the ministry. The location of the borehole was not ideal for equipping as was required in the contract. Chair, the action taken, management reported the matter to CDFC to rescope the works so that the completed works can be utilized and for additional funding so that a borehole can be drilled. Works have been completed except for the drilling of the borehole pending funds availability. Chair, construction of a maternity annex at PETAUKE District Hospital. The contract was affected by the inability of management to honor IPCs due to non-receipt of funding. Management encouraged the contractor to source for funds, and the works have since been done. Construction of police cells at PETAUKE Police Station. The contract was also affected by the inability of management to honor IPCs due to non-receipt of funding from the ministry. Management has written to the ministry requesting for funds so that the pending IPCs can be honored. Construction of a wall fence, landscaping at PETAUKE Stadium. Chair, the issue is the same here over the issue of funding. Management has also written to the ministry requesting for funds so that the pending IPCs can be honored. Chair, projects under work in progress under Kaombwe constituency. Construction of Mpamanzi 1 bridge. Management had an unsuccessful tender when the project was advertised. Management attempted to engage ZNS, but the cost was higher than the budget, hence the project was retendered. Works have since commenced at the bridge, Chair. Construction of Utotwe Bridge. Management had also an unsuccessful tender when the project was advertised. Management attempted to engage ZNS, but the cost was higher than the budget, hence the project was retendered. Works have also since commenced, Chair. Construction of a 1x3 classroom block with desks, staff house, and drilling of a borehole at Manyane Primary School. Chair, this issue was resolved at interim management later stage, and the project was completed. We've attached a completion certificate. Chair, it's also the same for Nyanoka, the construction of a 1x3 classroom block with desks, staff house, drilling, and equipping of a borehole. The completion certificate has also been attached. Construction of a staff house with water system at Kalasau Community School. Chair, this contract was also affected by the inability of management to honor IPCs due to non-receipt of funding. A letter was written to the ministry requesting for funding. Construction of museum at Mwanjawanto Phase 1. Chair, this was also the issue of funding, the inability of management to honor the IPCs due, and we also wrote a letter. Construction of Mpamanzi Bridge in Manyane Ward. Management also had an unsuccessful tender when the project was advertised. We attempted to use ZNS, but the cost was also higher, and we retendered. The works have since commenced. Construction of 1 boys dormitory one girls' dormitory ablution block and staff houses at Zumaire and water reticulation. Chair, this issue was resolved, and we have also attached a completion certificate. On outstanding projects, Chair, construction of a chief's palace for under PETAUKE Central Constituency. The project could not commence due to a chieftain dispute under Senior Chief Kalindawalo. Chair, the project was commenced under Chief Mumbi after guidance was sought from the CDFC. Chair, Stambuli Chisasa Road. The project did not commence after the award as the successful bidder declined to mobilize to site due to unknown reasons. The award was terminated and project re-advertised, and the contract was awarded to a new contractor who was on site. Under Chandema Mongoza Road, the project did not commence after award as the successful bidder declined to mobilize to site due to unknown reasons. The CDFC changed the project and allocated funds as a contribution towards renovation of a staff house under Kalindawalo Health Post. The other funding was to be contributed by the Eastern Provincial Health Office. Under Rural Electrification Authority, the project was to be undertaken in conjunction with REA, but had not commenced by the time of audit. Chair were written to REA and submitted sites in the constituency where the works were to commence. Chair, management will ensure that all approved projects are implemented and completed within the year. On the analysis on performance of desks, Chair, cause of query, management acknowledges the observation of the auditor and wishes to submit that all the desks which were earmarked to be procured were delivered, as shown from the audit findings. The unspent funds at the end of the year resulted from savings made due to negotiated price per desk under Kaombo constituency, while the unspent funds under PETAUKE were to be paid to a supplier upon delivery of the desks. These desks have since been delivered. The action taken, management wishes to submit that the unspent funds were reported to the respective CDFC committees and the following allocations were made. So under Kaombwe, we did a reconciliation on the available funds, the funds which were spent are shown, and what the funds were spent on. A contribution towards earth-moving equipment, outstanding payment towards delivery of desks, procurement of desks, and contribution towards medical equipment. Under PETAUKE, it also shown that the funds were spent on desks which were delivered. Management will continue procuring desks as per presidential directive. Chair, on the Youth, Women and Empowerment Grant Performance Analysis, management acknowledges the observation of the auditor and wishes to submit that failure to achieve 100% in the approval of beneficiaries was a result of limited resource envelope, looking at the number of applications received. Management Chair dispersed the funds to all the selected beneficiaries. Management Chair commits to disperse all funds to the beneficiaries. Okay. Failure to implement projects under the grants. Management acknowledges the observation of the auditor and wishes to submit that Katambalala MPC and Navutika MPC had not started operations at the time of audit. Chair, management during its routine monitoring discovered the change in project by the beneficiaries and advised the cooperatives to apply for change of project. Management reported the matter to the CDFC, who approved the change of the projects for the two cooperatives. Business records for the current status have been provided. Management undertakes to monitor all grant beneficiaries and provide guidance where necessary. Failure to implement projects under loans. Management Chair acknowledges the observation of the auditor and wishes to submit that Little Akis faced challenges in finding a technician to install the equipment. Winsimbo MPC lacked additional funds to purchase fuel, lubricants, and input materials. Chair, management engaged the beneficiaries over their failure to make loan repayments, and as a consequence of not commencing operations, legal action was instituted against the beneficiaries. Remedial measure, management will continue to engage loan beneficiaries when non-compliance persists. Legal action will be used as an alternative. Chair, failure to recover loans. Management acknowledges the observation of the auditor and wishes to submit that it did not recover soft loans due to non-adherence by beneficiaries to the agreement as set out in the agreement form between the bank and the said beneficiaries. Chair, action taken. Management sent reminders to the beneficiaries. Management further took legal action against the defaulters and subsequently obtained consent judgment and orders. Chair, management will continue to engage loan beneficiaries to ensure that they make good on the loan repayments, and when this fails, court action remains an alternative option. Chair, on the analysis on performance of bursaries, management acknowledges the observation of the auditor and wishes to submit that the CDF resolved not to sponsor applicants who had applied for driving courses. Chair, the applicants were advised to change courses based on the decision of the CDFC. Management will continue to conduct community engagements to inform community members on sponsorship regarding secondary, boarding, and skills development bursaries. Chair, that marks the end of the report. I submit.
Thank you so much, CS, for that resourceful memorandum response. I now wish to invite points of clarifications, if any, from the honorable members of the committee. We'll start with Honorable Mwene, MP for Mangangu. CS, you may switch off your mic. Thank you, Chair. Yes,
Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, maybe before we go any further, let's start with page 4.
Page 4?
Yes, on budget and funding. Maybe we start with this one, because I'm seeing it has a very big bearing on all the projects for 2024. On budget and funding, Chair Kaumbwe. First of all, PETAUKE as a whole, PETAUKE Town Council received about 11,841,544 kwacha on PETAUKE Central. Then Kaumbwe, the council received completely new. Maybe my first question is, why did they receive 0 for Kaumbwe? Because, Chair, this has a very large bearing on the projects. If when you go to page, what page is that, where projects have not been implemented because of lack of funding for 2024. And this, Chair, is a very big problem, because I have seen this is the first council chair that received the 0 kwacha in 2024. May they just explain to why the council did not receive any coin from the government when other councils received, or why did they receive 0 kwacha for PETAUKE, I mean for Kaumbwe concerns, when PETAUKE received something?
Yes.
Thank you very much, Chairperson, for that question. During the year under review, Chair, funds were mopped from councils, and as PETAUKE district, we were also affected by the same. So, Chair, after the mopping of the funds, we started receiving these funds from the ministry when they were coming. We were still writing letters, which we have attached under Appendix C, that we're requesting for funding for 2024. Most of the funds which we had received during the said period were funds which had already been mopped. I should mention, Chair, that these funds mostly were committed towards 2022 and 2023 ongoing projects. That's my submission, Chair.
Yes, Honorable Mwene, follow up. CS, you may switch off your microphone.
Yes, Chair. My question, Chair, is why didn't you receive anything for Kaumbwe? Look at PETAUKE. You received about 11 million also. Why did you receive 0 kwacha for Kaumbwe? Chair, I submit.
Yes.
Yes, Chair. As I have said, the funds which we were receiving during the course of the year were funds which had been mopped by the ministry. We wrote letters for both Kaumbwe and PETAUKE. We received these funds under PETAUKE, but for Kaumbwe, we had not received any funding as at the close of the year. my submission, Chair.
What is the current status as at now as regards to funding for 2024? For community projects.
Chair, I would draw your attention to a circular which we received from the ministry regarding funding for...
On appendix what?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get the appendix, Chair. Okay. We'll go to appendix C, Chair.
Your appendix is... Okay, let's proceed.
Thank you, Chair.
Appendix C what? 1, 2, 3?
So under 1, Chair. Chair, this letter was given to us by the ministry, which showed the Constituency Development Fund funding status for financial years 2022 to 2025. And Chair, I would draw your attention to the last page. Under PETAUKE Central, it still shows that we received 11 million, and under Kaumbwe, that we had not received anything. So, Chair, that is the current status for the funding for Kaumbwe.
Yes, Honorable Mwene.
Thank you. Chair, me, I'm not... I think the CS is not answering my question adequately, because it's a simple question, but I'm wondering why is he going around. Are you trying to tell your committee that you didn't receive any funding for 2024 because you were still receiving 2022 and 2023 funds, or what? Submit, Chair.
That is my submission, Chairperson.
Then, Chair.
Yes, Honorable Mwene.
Yes, Chair. Then my question still stands. Why? Why? Why were you still receiving 2022 and 2023 funds in 2024? To the extent that it made you receive 0 kwacha in 2024, whilst the other constituency you received 11 million. I submit, Chair.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. As I said earlier on, the funds which we were receiving during 2024 are funds which had been mobbed by the ministry. And Chair, I'll take you to the same appendix C under 3.
Appendix C3. Yeah, allow the witness to finish answering.
Not to disturb him.
Allow the witness to finish answering,
Okay,
then you give him
All right,
another
Chair.
question, because he
All
has
right.
not finished answering your own question. Yes, witness.
Chair, under 3, these are letters which we sent to the ministry requesting for funding for 2024. We did a number of letters which were sent through emails, and we also made a follow-up to the ministry for funding. We have the ones we did under PETAUKE, and also the ones which we did under Kaumbwe. We did a number of letters requesting for funding, and these were to help us to implement the 2024 projects. But Chair, nonetheless, despite the fact that we didn't receive funding, I should mention to the committee that we went ahead and implemented the projects under 2024. So, Chair, the letters are attached as appendices for all the requests which we made to the ministry for funding under Kaumbwe constituency. I submit, Chair.
Honorable Mwene, follow-up.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
We very much appreciate the responses by the CS. Yes, you have correspondences, but what can cause the government not to fund a constituency? 1. 2, quite okay, you are saying you implemented 2024 projects using which funds and for which year? Submit, Chair.
Yes. On the other hand, you are saying that you didn't receive funding for the year 2024. You just responded that you have implemented projects under 2024. From which funding?
Thank you very much. I'll make reference to the other booklet under appendix JK. Appendix 18, J under JK 18.
JK 18, the last one. Yes, go ahead.
Chair, this is guidance on fund management of Constituency Development Fund from the Ministry. Chair, allow me just to read the circular.
Your microphone, sis. Directors, please be on the, be handy to your CS. Yes, CS, go ahead.
Chair, I'll read the second paragraph in the interest. In this regard, local authorities are being guided to utilize available funds to clear outstanding invoices, interim payment certificates, and that the available funds can be used to pay for 2022 and 2023 projects. However, local authorities should ensure that the expenditure is within the approved projects. So, Chair, to answer the question of how we implemented the projects, as we were receiving these funds which had been mopped, we already had approved projects under 2024, and we're using also the same funds. So we had the funds which were being retained to the local authority under 2023 and 2022, which were mopped. We're using the same funds to also implement 2024 projects. I submit, Chair.
So it is not true that you didn't receive funding in this particular year. When the funds were mopped by the government, because before some structural adjustments were done towards CDF funding, councils were given monies which were sitting in their accounts. And in some instances, some councils delayed to do anything, and these monies were just accruing interest and just, dormant in the banks. And government made a decision to record the funds, put them in Control 99, and then what followed was advice through a circular that when an IPC is ready, then you write the ministry to give you the funding. And this is what has been happening. So perhaps you need to do a reconciliation. The works that have been done under 2024 and paid, you need to itemize so that you can see how much total funding was received by your council and went for projects under 2024. The works under 2023, just likewise, you total them, and that will give you and review a position of the council to say, in this particular year, in 2023, you didn't do these works. In 2022, you didn't do these works. And that also helps you as the principal officer to then go to the CDF committee to reallocate the monies that remain unspent. For example, in 2022, if you never did one project in 2022, you then report to CDFC that this project was not done, or we have a balance here, and then you carry the money forward by proposing another project. I think this is the way councils have been operating, isn't it? Yeah, so are you still saying that you didn't receive funding? Did you give out grants for the year 2024?
Thank you very much, Chair. Yes, we did, and we're also operating under...
Just hold on. Yes,
yes, Chair.
But did you give out loans for the year 2024?
Yes, Chair.
So, and you still go ahead and say that you didn't receive funding in this particular year?
Chair, with the guidance given, we'll say we received the fundings which were mopped by the ministry.
Honorable Mwene.
Sure, but then why did they indicate zero funding for 2024 for Kaum?
Yes.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. So the indication of the zero, I'll explain it in twofold. The first was that we're also working on the assumption that the funds which we're receiving, which had been mopped, and as guided by the circular, that these funds would be used on CDF for the years which we had received. So, Chair, from the audit finding and accompanied by the circular which I just read, which shows that the status of funding for Kaombwe, we're also working on the assumption that the funds which we were receiving during that time were allocated to 2024. We went further with funds which were also received in 2025, also operating to say the funds which were received were the funds which were supposed to be given to us in 2024. So when we received the guidance from the ministry to elaborate on how the funding had been dispersed, that is when we arrived at a decision to say Kaombwe did not receive any funding because the full allocation for 2025 was dispersed according to the circular which we received. I submit, Chair.
Director of Finance, what would be your comment on this matter?
Thank you so much, Chair. The comment on this issue is we had opened up the ledgers for 2022 and 2023. So when the funds were mopped, we allocated the same funds to these years. So even as at the time when they were being received, we had allocated them to the years in which they were funded. So for 2024, we didn't receive anything. However, we, based on the guidance on cash management, whatever was being received and the IPCs available, we're able to pay. Thank you so much.
Honorable Mwene. Your mic, DF. Yes or no?
Thank you very much, Chair. From what the DF is submitting, they didn't receive anything. And that is my concern. And DF, you cannot, CS, can you tell your committee that you have been costing or utilizing these resources based on assumptions? Finances to be based on assumptions, figures, calculations to be based on assumptions. So, Chair, I think their responses are not satisfying your committee with that, because we are dealing with money here and projects. If we ask the CDFC committee, I'm very certain, Chair, that they cannot tell us to say the projects that we projected to be done in 2024 were done. What would have been happening, Chair, if I'm to think from what they are submitting, they had the projects that were not completed in 2022 and 2023. And that's the money that they were receiving in 2022 and 2023. Because of their poor implementation, they were constructing those, or they were doing those projects in 2024. So when you do a 2022 project in 2024, it doesn't mean you are doing a 2024 project. No, it doesn't mean so. It simply means you have delayed in implementing the 2022 and 2023 project, and you are now implementing it in 2024, which is not correct. It's not correct. Chair, can the council, Director Engineering, through you, Council Chair, through you, Chair, Director Engineering. Where is the Director Engineering? Through you, Chair. Did you implement any 2024 project using 2024 funds?
Yes, Director Engineering.
Thank you, Chair. The projects under 2024, yes, we began to implement them using the funds that we were receiving. And to this effect, there are some projects that were really affected because we could not honor some of the IPCs in good time. And hence, some of the projects were delayed.
Okay, the MP, you want to come in. The chair is aware of the delayed funding to Kaombwe. I know with the MP we had engaged ST. However, there is need to do reconciliation, DF. You know the financials. The CS may not be a finance man, the engineering may not be a finance man, but I think what is happening to Kaombwe is happening to all the councils. We are implementing projects for 2024, 2025, and now 2026. And when funding is received, if you are paying a 2023 project, you will record it as having spent on 2023 project. If you expend on grants under 2024, you record that you received funding for 2024, and then you minus and do the reconciliation so that you are able to see out of, for example, the 40 million for 2025. Then you know to say we implemented projects with 11 million or 20 million. Then the balance is 20 million. The budget for 2024 was 36.1. Then you know what is owing and which projects are affected. So for me, I see the finance man has not helped you to do the reconciliation. And when that is not done, it then also affects those projects that you have carried over. Because, for example, if you needed to do a project in 2023 and it hasn't been done and you're going to cite funding, you then need to report. For example, if funds for grants haven't been utilized for 2023, for one reason or another, skills bursaries, then you need to reallocate the money towards another project. And then if this is not captured properly, then it affects the implementation of projects. The Honorable MP for Kaumbwe.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to maybe to make this clear. Would I be correct to say for Kaumbwe constituency, the CDF, since the implementation of this CDF program in 2021, it was 25.7 million kwacha per constituency. 2022, it was, I think, 28.6 million. So cumulatively, up to date, including the 40 million, probably every constituency is going to have 160 million kwacha. Are we saying that the Kaumbwe constituency is owed 30 million kwacha, which is almost equivalent to 1 year's CDF funding? And if so, what is the major impact on the implementation of the projects, as well as the grants, loans, and the skills support? And how do you intend to solve those problems?
Yes, yes.
Thank you, Chair. That would be the correct assumption or submission, sorry. That's the correct submission, because even on the letters, I think we have been following up with the ministry together with the honorable member. And as of 2025, the circular which I just read shows the funding from 2022 to 2025. And him and myself were working on the knowledge that the funds which we were receiving in 2025 had to be allocated towards 2024. But then when this circular came and gave guidance on what we had received at in Kaumbwe, I think himself and myself were at we had a loss, because we were told to say this funds is for 2025 and not 2024. So, Chair, the correct assumption is that the ministry has to fund Kaumbwe constituency for 2025, for 2024.
Have you written to the ministry? You see the challenge that I'm seeing. Yes, we're saying the ministry owes Kaumbwe 30 million kwacha. And the guidance is that you must claim for money when IPCs are ready. Do you have projects and programs that are ready with 30 million kwacha? Yes, Honorable.
On top of that, just a point of guidance, yes. Please, the Honorable Member of Parliament for Kaumbwe is not here as a witness like you.
No,
so may you not include him
Honorable.
in the submission?
He asked a question.
Yes, I would request they submit as a council not including the area member of parliament as if it's not is part of the witness, no, Chair.
You ask questions. If there's some guidance to be done, write me a note. I'll give the guidance. All right? Yes, witness?
Yes, Chair. Yes, Chair. We are being owed under Kaumbo constituency, and this owing is now spread over the 2 years, 2024 and 2025. So yes, we are being owed amounts totaling almost that 30 million, Chair. I submit.
Have you implemented programs that have IPCs that are ready to the tune of 30 million kwacha? Because what you're submitting is what is happening in all the councils. But then you only request for funding. For example, if an IPC has been issued by the contractor, confirmed by the engineer, and is ready for payment, that is when you ask for monies from the Treasury through the Ministry of Local Government. So my question is, have you implemented all projects and they are complete and you need the funding of 30 million kwacha?
Thank you very much, Chair. We have implemented projects. Some, most of all of them are complete in 2024, and we have made requests for funding. Chair, we have shown even the letters which we have written to the ministry, where we attached the necessary documentation for funding to be released. I submit.
Have you implemented all 2023 community projects?
If it's 2023 or 2024, Chair?
2023 community projects, are they all implemented?
Yes, Chair. 2023 projects are, have been implemented. Most of them, I should just say all of them are complete, and we have even attached a status report from the Attorney General, from the Auditor General, Chair, for 2023 projects.
Director Engineering, are you able to confirm that all the community projects for 2024 are complete?
Thank you, Chair. Under 2024, we have implemented all the approved projects, except some of them are not yet completed.
Under 2025, have you implemented all the community projects? Director Engineering?
Thank you, Chair. Under 2025, we've implemented all the projects. Some of them have been completed, and some of them are ongoing.
So could we say the balance of 30 million kwacha is not yet ready with you because of the incomplete works? Yes, Director Engineering. Cumulatively, 2023, 2024, 2025.
Thank you, Chair. Cumulatively, yes, we are still owing for the projects, some of them which have been completed. We have not yet settled obligations under retention, and some of them for completed works we are yet to pay.
Okay, to help Kaumbe, how much of the completed works are yet to be paid?
Thank you, Chair. Although I don't have the desegregated data, but for projects specifically under 2024, what we are still owing as at now is 7 million kwacha.
7 million. That is for 2024.
Yes, Chair, for 2024.
Honorable MP for Kaumbe.
The Chair, your question was not well answered concerning to, we need further clarification. That,
please go ahead.
Have we got IPCs? Or have we got IPCs, or are we owing also grant beneficiaries, loan beneficiaries, as well as skills bursaries.
Yes.
When we do an account, do we confirm that the total obligation is equal to 30 million, 30 point something million? Remember, community projects that were approved in 2024, they could have definitely been completed by 2026 now. So how do you account for this 30.6 million, 30 million, which today, if government has the funds and you are supposed to follow the guidelines of requesting for funding, they require you to prove that you have an IPC. So if we add the contents of those IPC, are we going to reach almost 90% of what we ought or not?
Yes.
Thank you very much,
yes.
Chair. The answer to the question is yes. It might not be exactly only for 2024 projects, but also even 2025 projects. Chair, maybe just to cite as an example, I know 2025 has not been audited, but most of the projects which we did under 2025 were to do with the procurement of earth-moving equipment. And these required us to have cash when those equipment were delivered. So for 2025 projects which had to do with that, those were paid for. 2025, if we look at the funding which was given, yes, it is a full funding for the year 2025, but we have not honored all the IPCs because some of the funds, as the honorable members put it, were used to fund 2024 ongoing projects and projects which were complete. And the IPCs available, the works which have been done with completion certificates, yes, they would amount to 90% of the 30 million which we are talking about. I submit, Chair.
The IPCs available for the works done would amount to 30 million kwacha. Your director engineering said 7 million.
So the 7 million he talked about were only for 2024 projects. I'm including the 2025 projects, Chair.
There's need to do the reconciliation of your accounts. What you have not done as Kaumbo is to aggregate what was supposed to be done in 2023 and the full funding. What was supposed to be done in 2024 and the full funding. When the funding comes from the treasury, it doesn't say that this funding is for 2024. It just comes as funding to local authorities to implement CDF projects. You, the local authority, are the ones who choose whether to implement tomorrow. If you received funding from the ministry, you are the ones who choose whether you are going to give grants next week, isn't it? Or maybe the funding comes to say, okay, following the letter that you wrote, here is the money to pay for IPC number 1, 2, 3, 4.
No, Chair, it doesn't come like that.
Yes, so without that, I see a gap, DF. I'm aware that for Kaumbwe, you have written so many letters to ask for funding. Of course, there was delayed funding and the ST was engaged. Your MP had to engage me. We had to call him at some point. And I think funding improved a bit. However, what is not true, and even as we are going to admit the report, is we need a reconciliation from Director Finance to give us how much you have actually implemented. By implementation, I mean what you have paid on grants, what you have paid on loans, what you have paid on community projects, skills, bursaries, all CDF components under 2024 with the funding that you received in 2024, 2025, and some of which you have received in 2026. Because it is you who decide which ones to pay using the available resources. And then using that reconciliation, then you can now show us to say, Okay, we did the grants at this cost because in this report, when you were giving us the memorandum response, you told us that for grants you paid almost 100%. And then here you are saying you have received 0. So we want Secretariat to have a true record of what's transpired in 2024. So Secretariat, on budget funding, Director Finance has to give us a reconciled a balance sheet so that we ascertain what is being owed. If you are being owed for 2023, we ascertain what is being owed for 2024 itself, which is the topic. And then you can do the same for 2025. Unless the Honorable Member of Parliament for Kaumbwe wants to add.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I think the root cause is the delayed procurement. Because 2021, 2022, we were caught up in a situation where government brought in new policies of maintaining zero balance. So the amount of funds, the unspent funds by the end of fiscal year 2023, when the government mopped the funds for Kaumbwe, they found a lot of unspent funds. So the funding was mopped, and therefore it affected the 2024 funding because they had to produce IPCs and so on. And it has affected the grants and the loans for 2025. My question is, what measures have you put to improve procurement so that we are not caught in such a similar manner for the years to come?
Yes, CS.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. The Honourable Member has rightly put that we're caught in a lot of unprocured works, especially from 2022 and 2023. And Chair, we as PETAUKE Council, we had benefited from being piloted as an authority which was to approve projects from the district. So Chair, with that, we're given an impetus to start the procurement of projects quite early. 2025, at the close of the year, with measures which we had put in place, we had ensured that projects were procured and implemented, and even the funds themselves to make sure that we stick to the guidelines. As of 2025, 31st December, our accounts were dry. We did not have any money because the money had been spent. So, Chair, it is about expediting the procurement processes, putting in place measures where, as Principal Officer, you see that things are not moving in, you step in. So those are the measures which we have put in to ensure that works are done, Chair. I submit.
Honorable Mwene. Are we done with this one, Kaumbwe? All right, we make progress. Honorable Mwene.
Thank you very much, Chair. Page 14.
14.
I would just like to, Chair, find out on these outstanding projects by that time. That is, especially, let me just find out on 203, the Chitambuli Chisasa Road, on the cause of query, saying the project did not commence after award of the successful bidder declined to mobilize to site due to unknown reasons. Also, on the third project, Chair, Chandema Magoza Road, also is saying the project did not commence after award of the successful bidder declined to mobilize to site due to unknown reasons, same cause of query. Then maybe also the third one is about the rural electrification. So maybe, let me just find out, Chair, on starting with these two projects. whether the council tried to find out with these contractors what the real reason for them not to mobilize on site was, firstly. Secondly, if they did communicate with these contractors. Firstly, whether they communicated with the contractors to find out. Then secondly, to find out whether, what reasons they gave to the council for not mobilizing on site, okay, for these two roads. Then on the rural electrification, Chair, when you go to action taken, management has engaged the REA and submitted sites in the consensus where works were to commence. I also wanted to find out, Chair, what the response that REA gave to the council on these works. I submit, Chair, for those three reasons. How many questions?
I should mention that it's the same contractor we're talking about in terms of the roads. So upon award, the procurement committee sat and awarded this contractor to do the two roads. And at the time of for him to possess site, he had signed one of the contracts. And when the contract has been awarded, there's the offer which is given, and then you expect the contractor to give you the acceptance, and then they do the formal signing of the contracts. So at the point of award, when the award was made, the offer was given to the contractor. He did not respond in the affirmative. At the time of to go and possess site, he did not also come to possess site. We engaged him. We did not write letters because we already had the offer letters which had been done to him. We tried calling him, but he did not respond in the affirmative. Hence, Chair, we are calling them unknown reasons. Chair, on the issue of rural electrification, we had even attended a meeting for principal officers where we sat down with the REA, and we reached a point where we were to give them the sites. This was given. We made a follow-up. The letter has been attached, which we wrote to REA, indicating the sites which had been selected by the CDFC. And now, at the point where they were supposed to get back to us, they did not do that, but we have a letter which we wrote to REA. It also attached as part of the appendices. I submit, Chair.
Any follow-up, Honorable Mwene?
Thank you very much. What criteria did you use to select the contractor that you gave to do these roads? I submit, Chair.
Thank you. Yes.
I would ask for clarity on that question, because there's the where we follow the Public Procurement Act procedures in terms we use the EGP and all this. Maybe just the Honorable to be specific on the.
Honorable Mwene?
Yes, Chair. Exactly his thought, Chair. Did you advertise on EGP and stuff like that? And how many were able to bid for these roads? I submit, Chair.
Thank you.
Chair, I'll respond in the affirmative. We used,
your mic.
I'll respond in the affirmative. We used electronic government procurement, EGP. As to the exact number of bidders who had wanted to take part in this project, I'll request procurement officer to come in. He might have the exact figure.
Procurement officer.
Thank you, Chair. As at now, Chair, I can't recall the number of contractors who submitted, but as the Act, it's 3 and above. The method we used was simplified bidding, which only considered the maximum of, the minimum of 3. So we followed the criteria using the Public Procurement Act, and the responses was and the contractors responded after the evaluation. After the evaluation, we discovered that one of these contractors got all the 2 projects. Yes, Chair, I submit.
Honorable Mwene?
Thank you very much, Chair. I just want to find out from the council whether, after this kind of a disappointment, whether they were able to sit down and try to analyze some reasons to why maybe the contractor turned down these particular projects? Is it because of the price? Is it because of whatever reasons? Because you cannot just have somebody just turn down a job like that. What, as management, did you try to come up with that you thought could be the reason to why he turned out this? Because I'm asking like this so that when you come up with that reason, in the future, you avoid such kind of problems again. Because for you, for the CDF committee to realize that these roads needed to be worked on, it means there was need for really these roads to be worked on. Then to just change the projects just like that, I think then the people were not attended to according to their requests, because these were, Chair, the requests from the communities that they wanted their roads done, and eventually funds, the contractor could not do the works and so on, based on the reasons that the council must be aware of, which should be avoided next time, so that they actually attend to the people as expected. Because eventually now the money was taken to do other projects like a health post. But the first priority of the
roads
of the community was the roads.
Yeah.
Before that, I submit, Chair.
Thank you so much. Director HR, where is the Director HR? Kindly give chance to procurement officer to come there. We are not demoting you. He gave some interesting answers. I think we need to engage him. We will need clarification from him. Yes, yes. Do you want to respond to what Honorable Mwini?
Thank you very much, Chair. On the analysis, I'll leave that to procurement. But Chair, just to submit that then the second Stambuli-Chisasa Road, there's a contractor on site who is working on this project. So the benefit has who accrue to the community. On the second one, the committee felt that since we had now acquired our own earth-moving equipment under 2025, we'll be able to do this road. That's my submission, Chair.
So what is the total cost of the Stambuli-Chisasa Road as awarded as at now? And when did you award it?
Okay. Chair, I'll refer you to the appendix, which has the exact amount. It should be about 960 something. Let me just. I'll refer the committee to appendix JK.
JK, which number?
JK is the other booklet, Chair. Put in the other booklet. 58? 15.
JK 15?
Yes, Chair, 15, Stambuli-Chisasa Road. Thank you, Chair. The contract price for the same is 867,300. And
on which page is it?
So it will be.
Let's move together.
Okay. So, Chair, under 15, JK under Appendix 15.
Okay.
The first set is the set of minutes for the procurement of the works.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
You found it?
Okay. Thank you very much, Chair. So allow me to make a correction. The first contract I read was the first one we had awarded to the contractor who did not take up the offer. So the second contract, Chair, was for 900,000 kwacha. So there's the first contract and the letters of award.
Thank you, CS.
Yes.
It's the figures that we wanted, and you've given us the figures. Procurement. The honourable member for Mangango was asking what criteria you used. We are aware that when you invite the tender, the tender should have more than 3 bidders for you to award. You were saying you were surprised and discovered that you awarded the same contractor. Is that what you want to tell the committee?
No, Chair. After the invitation, we went through the evaluation with the team, and then we discovered that one contractor got the 2 contracts, basing on how we prepared the bid. Yes, Chair, I submit.
These 2 contracts were cited by the Office of the Auditor General. Why didn't you come with the information so that we look at how many people participated in this tender? Yes, Procurement Officer. Procurement Officer? Well, feel free, we're having an interaction here. We want to know what transpired. Just like Honorable Mwene has said, the people of Kaumbwe, because these projects are actually submitted by the people, when they sit through zones, what development committees, they tell you, we want this road to be graded, okay? The people submitted that they want Chadema Mugonza Road to be graded, Stambudi Chisasa Road to be graded, and your job was to advertise, like you are saying, with the team, evaluate the best bidder, and then you implement. So now, we want to find out, because this other road remains implemented to the detriment of the enjoyment of services of these people who use this road. Where are the bid details for these 2 projects?
At the office, Chair.
How many are you in the office?
We are 3, Chair.
So you can ask somebody to send us so that we understand. We want to also understand how you arrived at somebody, one person, to get both the contracts, and they refused to implement them. Would you know why they refused to implement these contracts?
No, Chair.
No. Honorable Member for Kaumbwe.
This is Sitambuli to Chisasa Road and Chandema to Mungozo Road. According to the submission by procurement, the procurement method was simplified bidding, meaning you invite minimum 3 bidders to participate. And it happened that one bidder got both projects. Well, the question is, these projects were evaluated at the same time. What does procurement rule say when one bidder is found to be the best evaluated bidder on 2 projects that are being evaluated at the same time? Did you assess the technical capability to handle simultaneous jobs? Then the second one is the first contract, Stambuli to Chisasa Road. The award was terminated. What do you mean? Award was terminated. Did the contractor sign a contract for these two roads, or you terminated your bid evaluation award?
Yes,
Chair.
Yes, Procurement Officer, you have two questions.
Yeah, I'll start with the first one, where he talked about the capacity of the contractor. Chair, I might not know the capacity of the contractor, and I've got no control on how to award the project. It's the committee. So as in for me, what I did, we have a database. Every year we register contractors. And if a contractor has registered at that particular year, and we categorize them according to the submission of their profiles. So this contractor, according to his profile, his category was on the roads. No wonder on both roads we invited him. And when he submitted the bids, we don't have control, Chair. So I can't know the capacity. But after the evaluation, that's the reason why he even became the best evaluated bidder. That means that he has passed all the 4 criteria during the evaluation, meaning the capacity was there. The second question, Chair, over what did you say? Sorry, Chair, I've just forgotten the last one.
Honorable Dr. Manza.
I think the answer is not satisfactory, first of all.
Yes. Please, ask a follow-up.
This contractor, first of all, what is the name of this contractor who got these 2 jobs at the same time? Jonda. Okay, not Jonda buses. Okay. Jonda contractors. When you're doing evaluation, these jobs were advertised at the same time and were supposed to commence same time. So one contractor, he gets both jobs at the same time. There's need for evidence to show that he has the technical capacity to handle the 2 jobs simultaneously. Because when you require him to start the project, has he got enough machinery to start the projects at the same time? Or he would rather to start with one road, when he completes, then he goes to the other. So the answer concerning that is not well documented. Anyway, the second question I asked was the action taken on page 14. You have submitted that the award was terminated. What did you terminate? Did you terminate the contract? Or your bid evaluation, your letter of offer that you signed? Because I heard the CS saying that when a contract is decided, obviously, you send the successful bidder a letter of offer. Then the successful bidder gives a letter of acceptance. Then you sign the contract. So what did you terminate? Did you terminate the contract? Was it signed? And if it was not signed, you terminated your own letter of offer that you had sent to the successful bidder.
Yes, Procurement Officer.
Yes, thank you, Chair. The termination was for acceptance letter.
Yes, you want to add, Madam, the legal mind?
Thank you, Chair. So when he referred to the point to say that we terminated a contract, he meant the first contract. If you check through our evidence on the same appendix 15, the first part is showing the actual contract that he signed. So there you will find the pages for the contract, the offer and the acceptance. So for that contract, when he signed it, he did not go on site to start the works, hence the termination. And then the one for Mungoza, the one they are saying that the funds were allocated to the staff house, that's the one which has the offer and the acceptance minus the contract. The contract was never executed for Mungoza. Thank you.
Procurement officer, kindly withdraw the earlier answer that you gave, that you only terminated the offer letter. With that explanation from the advocate.
Thank you, Chair. I withdraw my statement that he signed. He signed withdraw.
We terminated.
We terminated basing on the acceptance letter. Thank you.
A follow-up, Honorable Mwene.
Thank you very much. Chair, a road contract, as Dr. Manza has stated, it's not a contract that can just be given to anyone like that. Yes. There is supposed to be visibility of some equipment, Chair, a grader or so and so on. So, yes, did you do any due diligence to confirm that this particular contractor had the capacity as regards the equipment? I submit, Chair.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, Chair. So all this information is put in the solicitation document to find out the capacity of the contractor. And I'll allow procurement to add more, Chair.
Yes, procurement.
Thank you, Chair. During the preparation of the document, solicitation document, there are 4 phases we consider. The first one is preliminary, second is technical, the third one is commercial, the last one is financial. So all this determine the capacity of a contractor. Thank you, Chair. I submit.
The question from the honorable member is, did you undertake due diligence? The stages, obviously, very much privy to, but we have a problem here. You bring, and this was simplified bidding. It is you, procurement officer, who went and invited this. You didn't advertise for everyone to participate. You selected the names. After you selected the names, the committee gave the contract to one contractor to do 2 roads, which have not been done. Hence, the Auditor General picked it as a query. And the honorable member is asking you, before you picked their name to invite them to bid, did you undertake due diligence to ascertain their capability to undertake the roadworks?
No, Chair. Like I stated the area on, we do the registration of supplier contractors every year. And before we register a contractor, we ask them to submit the profile, Chair. So through their profile, we determine the type of works or surprises a supplier can do. So through that, looking at the contractors we have within the same area, we thought he has a capacity, can deliver.
In short, you didn't undertake due diligence. Yes, procurement officer. I'm asking you that you didn't undertake due diligence to ascertain the capacity to undertake these works before you invited them.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, on consideration of contractors, we first start with our area, those who are within the area. So is among the contractor who registered
The
within
question I asked, we needed either a yes or no.
Yes, Chair.
What is the response? Did you undertake due diligence to ascertain the capacity of the contractor to undertake the roadworks before you invited them as procurement officer?
We did, Chair.
You did. Yes, Honorable Mwene.
Chair, you know, PETAUKE, don't struggle to answer simple questions that require a yes or no answer. You start laboring to explain this and that. Why? We needed to make our conversations short. When you have been asked a simple question, you answer simply as it has come. Not laboring on explaining things that will invite further questions, which are not necessary. Chair, I just want to find out, since you didn't do any due diligence, you didn't even know whether this, you just looked at the paper, you sat in the office, oh, he has said he has got a grader, okay. He has said he has got a roller compactor, okay. He has said he has got 50 million in the account, okay. You approached him. What prompted you to approach him? That he should bid for these two roads if you didn't do any due diligence? Because, Chair, what somebody can submit can be different from what they actually have. So what prompted you to approach this particular contract for you to be able to settle on awarding him two roads? I submit, Chair.
Yes, procurement officer.
Actually, Chair, nothing prompted me. He just followed the advert which we did, legislation of suppliers to contractors. So he responded in relations to the advert, Chair. I submit.
CS, you want to add?
Maybe, Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
In the delivery of CDF, the results should speak for themselves. So, Chair, if the procurement process was done and this contractor did not take up the jobs, then, Chair, the fault is on our part. The due diligence was not properly done, because if it had been properly done, we would have been talking about the people now using this road. So, Chair, apologies to the committee. That is our submission.
I'm glad you've summarized what I wanted to say. You see, the honorable member of Kaumbwe should have not even asked you a question, but he's at pains to explain to his people why certain things are not happening in his constituency. He's the one that gets the votes. The implementing of government programs in the district services is done by the local authorities and the team that you have come. But to just want to answer like procurement officer is doing, yet works are not being done. The people are not enjoying the services which are supposed to go to them. I can see, CS, you are trying, you are belaboring to answer this and that, but then sitting here, I'm asking myself, do you have the right team of officers? I will not give you the answer. If you can come to this committee and tell us that you have not received funding for 2024, yet you are implementing programs for 2024, how are you going to check what is remaining in terms of implementation of programs when you don't know that the funding that you have been using is actually for 2024? How do you pay money for a project that was initiated in 2024 and you say you have not received funding? You have paid grants for 2024 and you say you have not received funding. And to show a complete picture, of course, finance is supposed to help us, through the financial records, which we're not seeing here. I'd asked a secretariat who need a true picture from PETAUKE to ascertain what was implemented under 2024 in all CDF programs. And then it will give us a picture of what the balances are. As much as you would want to say that you didn't receive funding on time, procurement has to procure on time. The procurement process is very lengthy. And this is why I'd asked him to sit in front, because you can't advertise a project like roads, then award, and before you actually implement, you terminate. The loss is not on the council, the loss is on the people. The people are the ones who are supposed to enjoy the services. And this is why they'll tell you, in this particular area, instead of a health post, we need a road. Instead of this, at that particular time, that's what the people want. And your job as officers is to ensure that you work to the aspirations of the people, using the money that government has put at your disposal. But if you are going to delay the process because the person that you have given the job may not be the best person, according to you, you delay the procurement because the people you wanted to tender have not taken part, or are not helping the people. The Honorable MP for Kaombwe and PETAUKE would like to deliver for their people. Of course, when I say the Honorable MP for PETAUKE and Kaombwe, I also should include the government, because it is the government that has given us these funds to execute on their behalf. A win for a road for PETAUKE, it means then the government is working. If you delay to do the road in PETAUKE, the failure will not be attributed to you as procurement officer. It is the government that has failed. It is the MP that has failed. The councillor has failed. And so there is need to work as a team. CS, I know you are not the employer, you are just given a team. The employer is here. And this is why we invited all the permanent witnesses from the Ministry of Finance. We need to also release the funding on time from the position of Ministry of Finance. I know this case in particular because we had to engage ST together with the MP. There was delayed funding. Not that they didn't receive anything, but there was a delay in funding the programs for 2024. So the Ministry of Finance, let us pay on time. The Local Government Service Commission, let us ensure that we give the councils the right cadre of professions, of professional people, so that they do their works diligently. You have noted the gaps in the report, CS. We, especially the delayed implementation of projects, we expect you to go and implement. Go and implement these projects on time. Before I close the meeting, let me ask the Honorable Member of Parliament to, I can see he actually has a lot of questions for you. And I know he's not even happy that I'm about to conclude this meeting. Honorable Dr. Mansa.
Well, this will just be an example for you, Chair, just to conclude in terms of control. It's just an example. So we go to page 3.
Page 3. You see CS, eh? Now it's your own MP now. Yes, go ahead.
Page 3, construction of a health post, staff house, water reticulation, ablution, and the incinerator at Chikumba. The project is executed. The health post is not yet opened because, one, there is no equipment, but we have allocated equipment for 2026. And then secondly, there is no water supply. But I will start first of all with the procurement. Let us go to, on the same page, we refer to Appendix B. Appendix B, there's a contract that is signed between the client and the contractor for this particular project. So this contract, the second page, where you sign the signatures, the contractor signed the contract on 19th June 2023. And the client or the employer signed the contract on 20th June 2024. This is a contract that we are supposed that you have submitted to Parliament to be in the archives. How?
Come again.
Go to Appendix B.
Yes, I'm there.
The second page.
Yes, I'm there. Which signature signed on 2023?
There are two signatures, the employer and the contractor.
Yes.
To accept a contract. So the contractor, the date of signing the contract,
yes,
is 19th June 2023. Not so.
Okay, mine is 27th June 2024.
My document. What about anyone else?
The second page.
Yes, here's the second page, yeah?
Yeah, so the contractor is this side?
Yes.
Is it the one which is written Banda Hassan? I'm looking at another one.
Page 2.
Secretary, kindly help me.
Page 2, the second page. They're handwritten. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. I had, it's the same thing, but I had another contract. Go ahead.
Yes, so this is a contract that was signed by the contractor on 19th of June 2023, and the employer signed on 20th of June in 2024. So with these kind of procurement flaws, how did a contractor have access to a contract a year before? After all, a contract to be signed, when you write a letter of offer, the contractor sends back an acceptance letter. That is when the two parties meet to sign a contract. And it is the employer who initiates the contract to sign, to send the contract to the contractor. They can sign electronically or physically. How do we explain this kind of this kind of presentation? And this date of a year earlier is confirmed on page 2. No, the second page, the third page actually, a letter of acceptance. When the employer wrote to the contractor, then the contractor gave a letter of acceptance. So the acceptance letter is saying, reference is hereby made to your offer, to your office, dated 19th June 2023. Then let's just go to the ledgers, the project ledger. The project ledger, the contractor has up to date submitted up to IPC number 5. And one of the main reasons that has been attributed to the delayed completion of the project is that due to delayed funding of the IPCs, But I'll just give an example of an IPC number 4. IPC number 4 on the project ledger. This IPC was generated on 15th November 2024 and paid the same day. The evidence, the amount for this IPC 4 is 100,710 kwacha. So inside you can find the you can just find the IPC number 4. IPC number 4, it was the IPC was approved or generated on the 15th November 2024. The same day, a memo is written, interim payment certificate number 4, to ask finance to procure to process the payment of 100,710 kwacha. The same day, payment is done. Payment voucher is done. The payment voucher is in the middle here, in the middle of this. So you can see how efficient payment could be made. The question is council so efficient that at the time when you prepare an IPC, to prepare an IPC, the engineers go on site together with the contractor to take the measurements and to check that the works that has been done is to standard according to the specifications in the document. Even the quantities, you reach a consensus. Then the works department will generate an IPC to find the certified works. That IPC is sent to, you write a memo to say, pay this contractor so much, and so on. So this is a very good example of efficiency. The same day, they go to site, do all these works, and the finance department was just waiting for this request, and was paid the same day. And yet, in your explanation for delayed completion of this project is that IPCs were not honored. This is not the only IPC that was paid the same day. There are 5 IPCs that have been presented. The date that a contractor submits an IPC is the same day that he is paid. So this kind of, I don't know.
Ask your question, Honorable.
This kind of efficiency
ask the director engineering the right question.
How possible could it be that on the same day that you prepare an IPC and the payment is done the same day?
So, CS, there are 2 questions here. The first one is the letter of offer where the contractor signed the contract in June 2023, yet your signature is in 2024, the same month. And then the Honorable MP for Kaumbwe, which is part of PETAUKE district, is amazed with the efficiency when it comes to payment, where an IPC is generated in the morning and in the afternoon it's paid. Director Engineering, tell us on how efficient you are, and these projects, are they near to PETAUKE District Council, especially this particular project? How many kilometers is this project away from the district office?
Thank you very much, Chair. This particular project is about 65 kilometers away from the office. However, I wish to mention that the process to generate an IPC is not accomplished in one day. It takes several days, except on the final day, you call the contractor. When you have prepared all the documents, you call the contractor, then you give it to all the signatories to sign and submit. And on that particular day or any other, we find that the documents reach finance and they're able to process. Then it so happens that within 1 day of signing, the document can be processed and signed. But in terms of the actual procedure, where we have to go on site to inspect, do the measurements, it can't be done in 1 day. Thank you, Chair.
The records show that it was done in 1 day. The records that you submitted.
Thank you, Chair. What we are reporting is that on the day of signing the document, it is very possible to have it even paid on that day. But we would have done the inspection and done the inspection report way before the actual day of payment.
Yes, Honorable Mwine.
Thank you very much, Chair. What is the correct procedure for the payment? Submit, Chair.
Yes, Direct Engineering.
Thank you, Chair. We receive a request from the contractor, which goes through the council correspondence handling procedure, and then it finally reaches our office. Then our office undertakes to do the inspection in the presence of the contractor, and we generate a report after that. Then the report is the one which informs us how much quantities of work are acceptable and are ready for payment. That is what we include in the IPC. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Mwine.
Then now, according to you, PETAUKE Council, all those stages are done within 24 hours, within a day, and money goes out of the account.
The Director Engineering will take that. Yes, Director Engineering.
Thank you, Chair. In 1 day, all those processes cannot be done. Thank you, Chair.
Through you, Chair.
Go ahead.
Then how come you are able to do it within a day?
You see,
how come?
We want to learn the best practices also, so that we can also replicate in other councils. So if you're able to do it, tell us so that we also copy and ask people to come and learn from PETAUKE.
From PETAUKE.
Yeah, don't run away from it. Yes, Director Engineer.
Chair, I'm very happy because I don't want to be seeing IPCs pending in people's offices for 3-4 days.
Yes.
Not being paid. We want to learn, Chair, from PETAUKE.
Yeah.
Chair, this is very interesting.
Yes.
We are very happy. So can you please teach all other councils through this media right now so that they are able to learn that, don't worry, with the IPCs, us at PETAUKE, when you present as a contractor, you present it at 8 hours. By 12, your account will have been credited with a very nice quenue at that particular hour.
Yes, Director Engineering.
Thank you, Chair. What we are reporting is that it is a process. It is rarely possible to have an inspection, prepare a report, and submit a request for payment done in 24 hours. What is being reflected here is that it has a background which is not indicated here. Contractually, the IPC is supposed to be with us for a period of 28 days, but we endeavor to make sure that we pay in good time. What is here is that we had done an inspection prior to preparation of this document. It could have taken us a week, it could have taken us 2-3 days prior to this. The document that we are presenting in this report is the final stage, whereby now all signatories required have signed, and we submit to finance to complete the process. But in terms of preparation and payment of an IPC, 24 hours is not adequate time.
Internal auditor, where are you? Can you give us comfort?
Yes, Chair. They usually attach what we call progress reports before a payment is finally passed.
Are you part of the process of inspection when the contractor claims the work's done before the final IPCs, the final interim payment is done? Do you also go and verify that these works have been undertaken?
No, Chair. However, we do undertake internal audit inspections on the said projects as well, separately. But sometimes we usually accompany engineering as well.
So how then is this payment made without your report that indeed these works were done?
Chair, we rely on the report that is generated by engineering as well.
Is that your role, to rely on the report of engineering, the internal audit?
Chair, in my other response, I mentioned we actually undertake independent inspections as well, and we generate those reports, and we actually report those in our quarterly reports as well to the committee.
I want to ascertain something. That's why the committee is asking you these questions. Before this IPC is paid, there is a request from the contractor. Director engineering will go on the ground to indeed ascertain and do the inspections that these works were done. For example, if they claim that they used 10 bags of cement, but the director is able to say no, these works only cost 7 bags of cement, the director engineering would then reduce the cost. After which you, as internal auditor, is supposed to also go on the ground to go and check if indeed the report of engineering confirming the works done is true, and then you come up with your own report. Do you do this at PETAUKE?
Chair, I would like to mention that we also did a similar query on this same one.
Okay.
I think a report was issued to management. I think it was an inspection and audit report.
Yes.
That was done on 7th May 2025. A similar query as it has been indicated by external audit as well. Chair, to answer your question again, we actually do undertake independent inspections as internal audit. However, sometimes we do not follow engineering based on the fact that you might be doing other audit activities. Chair, I submit.
Yes, you're not supposed to follow engineering. You're supposed to do your own independent reports. But are you engaged before the payment is done so that you okay the payments before the whole process is paid? Does your office okay? Do you generate a report to also approve, per se, to say what is contained here is actually the truth? Go ahead to pay this payment. Do you advise the TC?
Chair, when the payment comes to the office,
let me once again assure you that you are protected. You are very protected. No one can remove you from your post. You have immunity. No one can use what you are submitting here against you in any courts of law. However, I want you to be factual. We are asking you this because we want to be comforted, and it comes back to your office. We love the efficiency. However, there's a reason why all of you are in your offices. There's a role that each one of you plays in your offices. So, before these interim certificates are done in one single day. Of course, there's that process of inspection as per explanation of Director Engineering. Are you involved in carrying out your own independent audit inspections?
Chair, I can confirm in affirmation, yes, Chair. I alluded to the inspection report that was conducted on the 7th of May 2025, which was also reported to management, Chair.
And in this report, you questioned this transaction. Go ahead, there was something you were trying to tell us?
I was just about to conclude to indicate that it is a similar query that we raised as well before actually external audit addressed this query, Chair.
What was the query you raised, internal audit?
It was delayed completion, Chair.
Honorable Mwine.
Thank you very much, Chair. It was a nice interaction with the internal auditor. Chair, I just want to find out on the same project, if we CS, we're on page 3, not so? Yes, we're on page 3. The last statement. You will forgive me, Chair, I've left my glasses today, so I'm not able to read perfectly well, but I'm able to. On action taken, the last sentence there is saying, upon obtaining the approval, management instructed the contractor to do water reticulation and supply water to the health post. So I wanted to find out, is this done? Because I haven't seen any confirmation to whether it is done. Then the next question, Chair, may be, before you just, it's on retained funds on page 4, Chair. The retained funds. This involves the ambulance, which was procured at 2.7 million, 25,000 kwacha. One ambulance was procured for PETAUKE, for Kaumbwe, and the other one for PETAUKE, not yet procured. Just find out, Chair, where this ambulance is. Is it in PETAUKE constituents or in Kaumbwe constituents? Where is it domiciled? Because on the records it's indicating that it is for Kaumbwe, and as such it's supposed to be in Kaumbwe. But the people of Kaumbwe are not enjoying the services of this ambulance. Where is it? Because if it is in another constituency, it's just the same as, Chair, we procure an ambulance in Mangango, but it is servicing in another province. It's almost the same. Another constituency very far from Mangango.
Yes, yes.
Thank you very much, Chair. For the second question, I'll ask Director Health Services to comment on that one. On the first one, as to whether these works for water reticulation have been done. So, Chair, these have not been done because we are supposed to give the contractor a payment for him to do these works. I submit.
Yes, Director Health Services.
Okay, thank you for that question. I'll correct the previous speaker by saying that the ambulance does service Kaumbwe constituency. It services Kaumbwe constituency, and literally how ambulances work is that they attend to the patient that requires to be picked at that given time. What am I trying to say? If, let's say, today we had both ambulances for PETAUKE Central and Kaumbwe available, and we had to pick a patient from Kaumbwe, and yet the ambulance for Kaumbwe has already picked a patient from Kaumbwe to possibly, let's say, St. Francis, we will definitely not wait until the Kaumbwe ambulance comes back to go and pick that person, because we're dealing with emergencies, which speaks to Presidential Directive number 1 when it comes to primary health care. So ambulances work according to emergencies, not necessarily being stationed in one locality, otherwise we'll be killing people. That's the first opening statement. However, right now, what we have discussed and what is best to do, if we actually had both ambulances present and also the human resource to be able to drive these ambulance services, was to zone the ambulances. meaning that the one in Kaumbwe will be stationed at Kaumbwe with the ambulance drivers there, and the one in PETAUKE Central, same. As we speak, even if we're to bring in both ambulances, or even just with the Kaumbwe ambulance, we don't have enough manpower in terms of drivers to be able to be zoned there and just stay, and the others to attend to PETAUKE Central. What we've done to address this is that we've actually reached out to the PS's office requesting for drivers so that we implement the zoning. But that zoning again will happen when we receive the ambulance for PETAUKE Central. Otherwise, both constituencies are attended to, and we attend according to the patient that needs to be taken care of at that particular moment.
You want to make a follow-up, Honorable Mwini?
Yes, Chair. I think on the issue of ambulances, Chair, even if we know an ambulance is a mobile unit, it cannot be considered like a structure that is built in one place. But there is where it's supposed to be domiciled. In this case, every constituency chair was mandated to procure an ambulance, not to be stationed in the other constituency, but it's supposed to be stationed in the constituency that procured it. Even if the services are needed in another constituency or another district, which are the jobs that an ambulance is supposed to do. But it's supposed to be stationed in the respective constituency. I can give you a very good example of my constituency, Mangango. There is Mangango Chair constituency, which is in Kaoma district. There is also Kaoma constituency. My ambulance is stationed in Mangango, not Kaoma. As we speak, of course, I think the scenario is almost the same as for PETAUKE. Kaoma Central also hasn't yet received, but the ambulance for Mangango is stationed in Mangango constituency. It does services for Kaoma, it goes to Kaoma, it goes to Mongu, it comes to Lusaka, it can go anywhere. But it is stationed in Mangango constituency because it's an ambulance for Mangango constituency. Maybe just an advice to this council, let them do the right thing. If the ambulance is not stationed in Kaumbwe, take it to Kaumbwe. Because the people of Kaumbwe, Chair, they know that that is their ambulance. And they can complain.
Maybe the question to ask would be, we have a district hospital in PETAUKE.
Yes.
And we have smaller clinics in both constituencies. Okay. The Honorable MP for Kaumbwe, are you done, Mangango?
I was just suggesting.
That is just advice, yes.
It's advice, yes, because these ambulances, Chair, they bring a lot of dust to the communities, or even vehicles, so to say, where it is procured for this particular constituency, but because the other constituency is the one that is at the center, it is like benefiting more of that particular item. So the recipient constituency, I think, complains. I have witnessed that.
That would be ideal if the Ministry of Local Government delivered all the ambulances. You have not done so even for Mandevu. We haven't yet received.
Yes, Chair, but when we are saying that, Chair, it doesn't mean it is not supposed to service that. No. Chair, it's a must. An ambulance must transport.
The advice is
yes.
well noted.
Noted, Chair, thank you.
Yes, MP for Kaumbwe. I'll be coming back to the issue of the internal auditor. We didn't finish.
I think it's just an addition. Actually,
yes.
We've engaged DHD, the DC. Immediately, we were so excited, of course, when we were given the ambulance. And we have a very beautiful mini hospital with an ambulance bay. So the reasons that we were given was that they do not have enough resources, human resource. In short, no minibus, ambulance driver. And we were given even a deadline stamped by the chief to say within 2 weeks. Because, for the community, definitely, we don't understand why we can say we don't have an ambulance driver when everywhere else, in fact, through the CDF, we have trained a lot of drivers. So my question would be, How far have you gone in engaging the Ministry of Health to provide a competent driver for the ambulance, so that the people of Kaumbwe know as to when that ambulance will come to the mini hospital?
Hello? Oh, sorry.
Yes, the Director of Health Services for PETAUKE District.
Our concerns are very valid, and not only speaking to the fact that the ambulance should be physically stationed there for the constituency, just for the sake of technical operations. We're talking about roads here, the cost of fuel for referrals, and the distances when it comes to healthcare. With that being said, technically, what is understood and what is best is that, and what the desire was of the government when they're buying these ambulances, is that these ambulances should be stationed in these facilities. But emphasis again is, we don't talk of, just like we talk of a health post, we just don't talk of a building, we talk of a service. When we're speaking of an ambulance, we should talk of a driver. When we're talking of a mini hospital, it should be able to handle that ambulance. All these things should be in place for things to work and operate. And in line with what we are all agreeing should be the ideal, what has been done so far, as I earlier already stated, is that we have written to, we have had these conversations a number of times when PSS come in on the need of support staff, critical support staff for health services, among which include drivers. This we've brought up time and again, and we've written officially. What should be done right now, immediately after this, is that I should just go and follow up that write-up. Otherwise, we've written to the PS and we've had these discussions. What we desire is that that ambulance should be in Kaumbwe, and the other one in PETAUKE Central should come in, and we should have more drivers. Even after this hearing, I hope that we get to have more drivers to come in across the board when it comes to ambulance services. That's my final submission. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Mwene.
Chair, I think this is my last advice to, please, PETAUKE, stop answering long answers. You are prompting us to question a lot of questions. I think the only best advice you should go away with is that, because I will start asking you, how long have you taken? Look at the other councils, they have been able to organize for drivers, they are there. What I can cite very good examples. I think that is not Chair, a response that we can take as a committee to say, no, we are still looking for a driver. No, we are for how long? You know, they are prompting us to ask further questions, which should not be the case. Simple advice is, look for a driver, communicate with the Director of Health and the PS, look for a driver as quickly as possible. You have actually taken too long. From last year, failing to find a driver. Can that be a genuine reason, Chair? It's not possible. It's not. It's not a reason. There are a lot of drivers, and even those that have competence to drive ambulances, they are there. You have not just taken a decisive decision to look for this driver and bring them to Kaumbwe and station them. They provide whatever is needed for the people to be able to see the services. You know, we are going in an election year. You can speak all the grammar in this world, but that will not it will just not suffice to them seeing an ambulance in their constituents. Sorry to mention this, Chair, but really the reason why CDF was brought in these constituencies and enhanced is to provide a service to the community, in this case of a drive, of an ambulance, which is the only thing that people need in that area, is the ambulance. We need the vote, Chair, from the communities of Kaumbwe, so that when they see the ambulance, then they will vote for the government of the day. So those your problems, your technical problems, your lack of human resource, whatever, that is your problem. The thing that is needed in Kaumbwe is you taking the ambulance to Kaumbwe. A driver, you can easily find that driver. If you have failed to find one, communicate with me. I will communicate with your district health director. I will communicate with your PS. I will communicate with every every office that is required. So that you take that ambulance is there. You cannot take 1 year to find a driver. No, that is not possible. So please avoid giving us a lot of stories. We will not adhere to that. Implementation, and the implementation on time is what is needed. For the issue of the driver, Chair, it's not something that maybe will require a pick and a shovel to be able to find a driver and locate that driver in Kaungwe, no. I submit, Chair, that was just an advice. Thank you very much, as we have concluded.
Thank you so much. I'm about to conclude the meeting now. I know we have so much to ask, PETAUKE, but we have the limitation of time, and I'll ask you not to ask a question, but you speak to your council and your expectations. Then we conclude.
Actually, I'm just
Please.
On the CS just said the water hasn't yet been connected to the health facility. We in 2026 budget, we have budgeted for the equipment for Chikumba Health Post to be opened, and we do not want to further delay provision of health services at Chikumba because there will be no water. Because I know any time that the council has funds, they will procure those equipment that we allocated for that health post. So now they will procure, and yet that time there will be no water. So it's just, I'm just urging that the contractor should go on site to provide the water, to mechanize that hand pump that you identified, because the contractor drilled 2 boreholes, they were all dry. So one borehole in the community was identified and the yield were good. So when we go back, we make sure that the water services should be provided to the health facility ahead of the equipment. And another advice is, I think let's try to coordinate, to collaborate various departments, the internal auditor, the director of finance, everyone involved in these in projects should be able to check the documents. I'll give example, like on the same interim payment certificate number 4, all your payment vouchers that you've put in this document, they are not acquitted, which means the contractor never received. They're never acquitted. Check. As just an example of IPC number 4. The payment voucher is the middle paper, which is in Appendix B. So it is never acquitted, and the designation for the CS was not even written there. The under designation, there's a date, 18th of November 2024. And these are serious, these are minor things, but very serious, which require audit and the internal auditor to proofread. CS could be in a hurry and they just omitted this, but the internal audit should check. And this is the document that you have submitted that we're supposed to leave at the Parliament here, which will be in the archives. So with all these kind of floods, even a document just before the IPC number 4, this IPC that you have submitted here is not readable. So if, I think you've seen it, Appendix B, it's not readable, the font, everything. So a document, once it's finalized, let everybody who is involved go through, because when you're going through the same type of work alone, it is very much possible to make certain kind of omissions. So when teamwork, others look at the document, they would be able to rectify something. It was just a comment, Chair, and my passion for Chikumba to be.
Thank you so much. CS, you had the question and answered on the dates for the contract. Yes. Yes, yes.
So, Chair, on the contract where we put the signatories. Yes, the contractor had put 2020. This looks like a 4, but it was deleted to be a 3. This contract, Chair, I can confirm that it was awarded in 2024, though it was a 2020.
Yes, do not go that route of looking at a 4 that looks like a 3. We have 2 areas that were signed where you corrected the 4 that looks like a 3. Can you read the date down there?
Chair, the date showed 2023. It was an error on our part.
So why are you saying that it looks like a 4, but when it's written 2023?
I withdraw, Chair. Then our offer
No,
letter.
you can't withdraw. The question from the Honorable Member of Parliament was, your contracts, you signed on 20th June 2024, yet the contractor signed this contract on 19th June 2023. When you go further, the acceptance letter by the contractor says reference is hereby to your office ref number 0222-2023 dated 19th June 06-2023 arising from my initial. Maybe read this for us.
It says reference is hereby made to your office ref number MLG PSU 02-2022-10-2023 dated 19th 06-2023 arising from our initial
Sorry, your microphone, yes.
Sorry.
You can start afresh.
Reference is made to your office ref number MLG PSU 02-22/10-2023 dated 19th 06-2023 arising from our initial.
Okay, just there, CS. Just tell us what is the correct position. The contractor is talking about 2023 and has signed here. There is the witness 19th June 06-2023. The contractor Akim Zulu 19th June 2023. On the other side, you signed in 2023 on the 20th of June. Which is the correct position?
Thank you very much, Chair. The correct position is 2024, because if you go to the contract, it was also awarded in 2024 on just the first page of the contract. I submit, Chair.
Yes, so the question from the Honorable Member of Parliament, he was saying, how come this particular contractor had this document a year before than the actual award date of 2024? And that was the initial question by your MP.
Thank you very much, Chair. I'll refer you to the offer letter where we offered this contract to this contractor. It is dated 6th June 2024. So, Chair, it could have been an error on the part of the contractor on the date which he put, and we should have noted that, Chair. Our apologies to the committee.
In your legal terms, when a contractor puts such dates, is this contract binding?
No, Chair. It couldn't be binding because the dates are differing.
PETAUKE Council, as we conclude, we are not a court, but just a committee of evidence. But from our interaction, we can see that you have challenges in contract management, governance issues, financial challenges. Local government officers, you are supposed to take development to the people. You are the first contact of government. That's why in Bemba they call you to take over Bukaya. Chilimboy, who take over Bukaya is what the parliament, we have to translate. Huh? Huh? The government of the people who take over Bukaya. And we are seeing challenges here, not because, you know, of the government, but we are seeing challenges in terms of implementation of programs because of the manpower which is there, CS. I can see you are laboring to explain, you know, but what is in your report, the implementation of programs is not coming out as per your explanation. I wanted to get a comment from the Ministry of Finance on the payment vouchers. We have seen payment vouchers which are checked by DF, the CS. Now we are a sub-warrant officer, town clerks are being removed. Yeah, but the reports are supposed to also be supported by the internal audit. So maybe before we go to the conclusion, do you give latitude to your internal auditor to check these reports before they are paid? And as you answer, I will ask you for evidence. So as you answer this question, ensure that it's backed by evidence.
Yes, go through the question again, Chair.
Yes, so I was asking, do you give latitude? Because the internal auditor reports to you direct. Do you give him latitude, the space, when an IPC is generated? Are they given the resources to go and do an inspection so that they check whether what director engineering is requesting or okaying is indeed correct?
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Yes, we give the audit committee latitude.
Not the committee, the auditors.
Yes, the auditor, yes, Chair, we do. And Chair, case in point, I'll look at the issue of delivery of desks. Whenever desks are brought to the office for issues of signature, for issues of payment, the one person from the audit unit has to go with the stores, has to go with...
Okay, not desks. The community projects such as classroom blocks, the buildings. Does audit go to check the works?
Yes, Chair, they do, and they've brought
before
reports.
The payment is done?
Not specifically for all the projects, Chair.
Your people in PETAUKE are following this conversation. For us, we can only get information from this book, which is your memorandum response. And from this response, we can tell you that there are challenges from contract preparation, management of contracts, M&E. The Honorable Member of PETAUKE, I mean, Kaumbwe, is actually amazed that, yes, we have challenges, but when it comes to execution of payments, it's done the same day. And I wouldn't take away that from him because that is his observation, which is correct, which goes unchecked by the internal auditor. He started very well. He started very well, but he also started behaving as though he's part of management. Sir, you are not part of management. That's why you report to the town clerk alone, so that you safeguard the resources of the people of PETAUKE. CS, can you go back to PETAUKE and put your house in order? You have the resources, ensure that the correct financial procedures are done. Director Finance, I think we alluded to the fact that we will not admit this report. We only do so with those changes because the budget and finance part is not complete. So we would want that information so that we know how much you were funded in 2023, especially 2024. But we also want information for 2025. so many challenges. Here I've noted weak documentation and record keeping, limited demonstrated impact assessment of bursary programs, delays in receiving retained assets such as motorbikes and ambulance affecting service delivery, failure to recover loans amounting to 8.6 million kwacha, persistent unspent balances. I think we have taken time to talk about these things, and advice has been given. The employers, you've taken note. Ministry of Local Government, we expect that you deliver the other ambulance, which is meant for the district. Indeed, when the district has got one ambulance, it will be used as the health professionals deem fit to save lives within the district. However, the government said each constituency must have their own ambulance. And so when the Ministry of Health is requesting for ambulances, we expect that they follow suit by employing the right personnel for the tools that they are going to receive. So if local government is buying an ambulance on behalf of the Ministry of Health, we expect the Ministry of Health to be ahead by employing the drivers. Otherwise, these vehicles will become white elephants. They are meant to service the people in terms of, enhanced health services. So the excuse that the ministry has not engaged the driver for the ambulance in PETAUKE or Kaumbwe, I think this is not an excuse that the Ministry of Health is supposed to give, just in case the Ministry of Health has not engaged drivers, because as Mandev, we are yet to receive also our own ambulance. We expect the driver to be engaged, and when the ambulance comes, we want it to work for the people. Finance and engineering, let us ensure that we do our reports that we are all going to appreciate. Let us ensure that the internal auditor is involved. CS, it's your office to ensure that the internal auditor verifies all payments before they are done. This is to alert your office in terms there are any, malpractice going down. After all, the services are to the people. You are there to implement. But these offices, all of them play a critical role. So you find that, for example, if procurement officer is delaying to procure, the whole delay will affect all of you. They will say, PETAUKE local authority is not working. If director engineering is delaying, right now we are happy that you are able to generate an IPC and pass it to finance same day. That is a plus on your part, however you do it. But if you are delaying, the whole delay delays the execution of works, and the blame goes on all of you, and later to the civic leaders, the MP, and the executive who don't come to PETAUKE but have given the resources to be used, to take care of the aspirations of the people of PETAUKE. We therefore direct that the council must strengthen contract management and supervision of projects, ensure timely disbursement and utilization of funds, improve monitoring and recovery of loans, enforce accountability mechanisms for non-performing beneficiaries, enhance documentation and audit trails, follow up on retained assets and strengthen impact assessment mechanism for bursaries and empowerment initiatives. You saw the MP still wanted to ask you questions. Who ask that at least consult him on some of the things where you have challenges. Director engineering. This is one senior we have in the country, very senior engineer. And so when you're having engineering challenges and he comes from the district, it means you're not utilizing him well. We learn every day. Please pick phones and consult. Otherwise, we expect PETAUKE district to be #1 where engineering issues are concerned, because we have the expert within here. We gave you immunity at the beginning of our deliberations, which is now revoked. And when we say go back and improve the service delivery for the people of PETAUKE, we mean just that. So thank you for your report. We wait the addendum from the Director of Finance. Feel free to leave. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Chairperson and the committee.
Well, thank you so much for still being with us on Parliament Television. We've just been watching the Committee on Local Government Accounts, and they were considering the report of the Auditor General on the Constituency Development Fund for the financial year ended 31st December 2024. And the witness was PETAUKE Town Council, and this council was led by the Council Secretary, and this is Mr. Kelvin Banda. And some of the issues that were raised, or should I say the committee that observed, they did examine the submission and oral responses from PETAUKE Town Council on matters arising from the Auditor General's report. The issues reviewed included delayed projects and unspent funds, weak loan recovery, and challenges in implementation of empowerment and bursary programs. And at 14:30, we expect Vubi to appear before this committee and make their submissions. For now, we take a lunch break, and at 14:30, we reconvene with Vubi as a witness. My name is Paulson Tindovi. Chola Kauma is my sign language interpreter, and not forgetting the entire production crew for now.
To 14:30.
She took some crimson reds and melts them into oranges. She hides the moon behind the curtain, safe at her side. Then she'll open them up to prepare for the night. As she breathes and she blows, trees they stretch their arms.